Hi, I'm Ben from Fully Charged. I'm here with Clément from Moustache, who's the head of PR and very experienced part of the Moustache family. This is actually my favourite e-bike there is, not just from Moustache, but from every e-bike on the planet. I love this bike. I've been riding the Moustache Friday for many years, for about 5 or 6 years, and this is the latest top of the range, full suspension. I'll start off with the colour. I absolutely love it. I mean, in the brochure, it doesn't do it justice at all, because it almost looks gloss in the brochure. Yeah. But actually, in the flesh, this deep, matte, kind of red winey, really, it's lovely. Really modern, cutting edge colour. And then going straight into the suspension, and the magic suspension from Moustache is magic. It's been designed in-house, and I'll let you just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's we've been designing our own suspension for several years now. It all started with the mountain bike and the need to have a suspension which is really designed for e-bikes, which is not existing right now on the market. So because at Moustache we always want the best products. If we don't find a product which convinces us 100%, then we design our own, and that was the case for the rear shock. So we've been developing the shock for many years now in mountain bike, and this is a new version for this year of the Magic Grip Control, where we've been improving again the rebound control and the all hydraulic system. Now we are using the trunnion fitting, which allow us to have a bigger air volume, which is basically giving more comfort on small bumps and basically a more progressive suspension. That system is dynamic. Basically, you can adjust the air pressure depending on your weight. Yeah. You have a sag adjuster, which is showing you which which sag you need to have when you set up the air pressure. And then after, basically, it's all automatic. You have the rebound here for low speed, but as you get faster, the shock will get faster in terms of rebound. What it create, basically, it gives more traction, more grip, and leading in more performance and more comfort, basically, for that bike. This version is 100mm travel, front and rear. And basically the idea is to have a bike suspension which is working all together and which is really stable and for better performance, better handling. Better.
I think it's important to say as well is like, typical suspension over like the years for mountain bikes is all about being able to do big jumps and being able to have loads of travel and you know, really, but this is really designed like for an urban like kind of situation, and it's quite a short travel. It's just very damp, very controlled, and designed for heavier bikes as well. So the rebound isn't so aggressive. Yeah. And it's just it just works so well, and it just gives you complete control and complete comfortability. But for me, why I like it in London is I'm quite a fast rider, and when I'm kind of cruising along and there's a pothole or there's some speed bumps, and normally you have to slow down, do a shoulder check no one's behind you, and then kind of steer around it and this and that. But on the Friday, it's just like, take me through it, you know, kind of don't change my experience. I just want to keep going, and I'm overtaking guys that are kind of, you know, in their Lycra and you know, special £9,000 road carbon bikes. I'm kind of with a couple of panniers going over a sleeping policeman at, you know, 18-20 miles an hour, and just sitting down in the saddle, and it's like, it just makes it so much fun, and it just gives you complete confidence around the city, and that's why I love it. And then plus with these big supermoto tyres, with the new Bosch CX motor with 75 Nm torque, the whole experience and the relaxed geometry, but still not too upright. Just it's just perfect. And overall, for me, this is as good as it gets as an e-bike, and it's still, you know, kind of relatively light, and you know, the top of the range gearing. It just it's just it just wins hands down.
Yeah, for us it's like an SUV, let's say. If you want to compare to another vehicle in the city, that's it. That's an SUV. You can go fast. You can, as you say, you can hit the curbs. If that goes everywhere.
Yeah.
And if you fancy go in the countryside and do even some light off-road, it's no problem at all. You can do it. You know.
Yeah, I'll go on a Sunday out, and we go over to Epping Forest and use it like a soft kind of mountain bike. I'm not into doing kind of intense technical trails and stuff, but going off on a really nice kind of like Land Rover track or a bridle path or a gravel track is just perfect. It will just eat it up. And the design of it with the new Bosch CS motor is amazing, and the new CS motor is 75 Nm of torque, so it's the same as the old one, but it's much smoother, it's much more efficient on the battery, and the big thing is it doesn't cut out at 15.5 miles an hour. It feels like it actually still assists you up to about 18, so it's got this very clever clutch system, which basically you don't have this resistance, and you can push past it. And I've even hit over 20 miles an hour comfortably on this system with no de-restriction whatsoever, and basically it allows riders to ride fast without having this whole taboo around de-restricting, which isn't considered a great thing to do for obvious reasons. But this new CS motor, you don't really need to. So that's a great thing.
It's really compared to the previous CX, especially as you said, there's no multiplication inside the system. Before we were using a small front cog with a multiplication inside the motor, which was creating some drag. Now it's a normal chainring, so no multiplication, no drag, no resistance. 75 Newton meter in terms of torque, and what is impressive compared to last year is the weight reduction also. It's an engine which is 2.9 kilograms, which is really lightweight for an engine, and it's really compact compared to the previous version, so that allows us to save some weight, of course, and position the weight again as low as possible on the bike, to have the really good handling capacity and having something really stable and really easy to handle, easy to maneuver. For of course the motor, but also the battery, that's the same principle. Basically, this year Bosch introduced a new 625 watt power tube battery. So for us, before the power tube was only up to 500 watts. So we were using mostly the hidden power principle with the power pack battery. But now with the addition of the 625 watts, it was for sure it was now time for us to jump into the power tube battery. That was challenging because the battery is much longer. Again, the fun and the handling ability of our bikes is really crucial for us. So it was a big challenge for us to keep that fun and keep that handling on those new concept and new frame. So basically, what we've done, we've been designing a new frame with hydroformated tubing to insert the battery, and we've been also completely redesigning what we call the battery dock, which is basically where you connect the battery. We don't use the Bosch battery dock, we use our own battery dock. With this, we've been able to reduce the size, the dimension of the battery dock to again have the battery as low as possible to the motor. Again, I think because we are born electric and we are focusing 100% on e-bikes, we really often goes more deeply into details compared to other brands, and that's really part of the way we work on when we develop products. We test a lot, we do a lot of test ride with suspension, with the frame design, and etc. And that's all those small details all together that
make Moustache
making
special.
a big difference at the end when it comes to riding. And
we've seen that, and it's very obvious, to be honest. After spending the time in the industry, and our customers, when they come in here, they learn that and they see that and they buy into that. That's like is part of the magic.
So basically, very simple. You have the key here, push here, and you can remove the battery very easily. So that's the 625 watt battery.
So that you can charge that obviously here inside, or in this very cool little well-engineered port here. And obviously that's the same port, so your charger can charge it either or. Yeah.
One important aspect also is that so that's the 625 watts. Bosch is also doing the same battery in 500 watt dimension, but this is slightly shorter length. So what we have done basically, we have designed a specific part that goes at the end of the 500 watts. So the complete size is the same, and if you have
previous
a Friday,
500 watt,
if you have a Friday FS with a 500 watt and you want to go for 625 watt, you don't have to change the frame. You know, it's all ready, and you can just insert directly the 625 watts. Plus the fact that the 500 watt has this specific part, it's really, really practical to grab actually and remove the battery really easily from the
so that bike obviously wouldn't have that either, because the Friday 27 FS3 also comes as standard with the 625. So this is something that's just been designed in-house by Moustache, which is just an add-on for customers to enjoy.
Again, to make it easier to swap batteries between different models. You go for a ride with I don't know, with your wife, and you have one 500 watt battery, one 625. If you want to swap batteries, it's not a problem.
It's really cool.
And we used that principle on several platforms this year, so that's really easy to change and to swap and to replace. Again, we try to make e-bikes riding easy and accessible to everyone and fun, and that's part of, again, those small details that makes a big difference.
And as well, I often have, like, kind of when we get real bike enthusiasts in the shop or in the service center, and they're talking about Suntour. I don't think Suntour gets enough recognition. You know, everyone's like, oh yeah, Suntour, it's all about Fox. And you know, I personally, after riding Suntour forks on the Friday FS for the last couple of years, I love it. I think it's a fantastic fork, and I think it's hugely underrated in the kind of, you know, techie bike kind of nerd world.
Yeah, basically for us, for mountain bike, we strongly believe Fox is great right now, and we work a lot with Fox suspension. That being said, for urban, Suntour is the only brand right now which has really developed a proper urban fork with hydraulic, with lockout. You have the air pressure. I mean, all this, they are the only one to have which have done this, and that makes a big difference in how the bike is riding. We've been testing other brands, and right now the Mobi 25 is
the best,
and it's really dedicated for e-bike. You know? It's not just a fork that we took, and it's really a dedicated model for e-bike. So that's
I'm
that's
a big
important.
fan of it. So you've got two bikes in the FS range. You've got FS5, which is up here, which is 3,899, and FS7, which is 4,599. So there's £700 of difference in between both the bikes, and the main differences are Supernovo versus the standard lights, XT versus SLX and the gearing. Same amount of gears, both 12 speed. And then you've got, what were the other differences? The fast charger,
and you have the Intuvia now.
and versus Intuvia. And then a fast charger with the FS7 versus the FS5. So you've got, like, you know, about £1,000 worth of accessories there, and it's £700 difference. So it is, you know, it is a kind of good deal. But most of our customers, when they see a difference like that, they just want the best. So that's why we tend to see the FS7 sell out faster from Moustache, and we carry more stock of the FS7 than the FS5. it just tends to be more popular. I mean, also for me, I love that colour, and that is a little bit plain, but some people like to be a bit more stealthy, and so I guess
we've been developing also some other cool parts. First, we've been developing a specific chain cover, which is quite unique, because usually with a full suspension, with a rear suspension, it's usually not possible to have a chain guard.
That's kind of metal mounted, but a kind of acrylic plastic.
Exactly, and it's directly basically fitted on the rear triangle and the mudguard here.
So
it really follows basically the work of the rear suspension. So give you a good protection if you are riding with a suit or whatever. You know, there's no risk that you will get dirty with the chain. Another cool feature is that on the rear rack we have the low position for the rear pannier with the QL3 or sleep slots here. You can click directly the Moustache, for example, made by our sleep rear pannier. So the position is really low, and one thing which is important also is that here we have this special protection to avoid any confusion in the shifting when you use the rear pannier. That's important. One thing also which is really important, all the Friday 27 FS, we are using of course our tubular mudguards, and this time in a triple cavity extrusion shape. So it's really strong and really stiff. So if you crash, if you whatever, it doesn't bend. It's gonna remain stable in a long term. So that's a good addition to that.
And also, as we missed on the Friday 28 review, is the fact that all the Friday series now come with the Just Moustache wheels.
Yeah, which is again basically the same principle as in mountain bike. Again, we are doing extrusion to shape those rims. So basically, they have a cavity which is adding extra strength, which is particularly important on an e-bike, because again, you have more weight on the bike and you go faster and you hit harder objects, curbs, and so on. So that's important to have something that will keep a good dynamic of the bike, and also
they're tubeless ready.
Yep.
But obviously not tubeless for urban bikes. I mean, it's not many people would do that.
No. Usually people stay with tube, but if you would like to go for tubeless, you just need to add a flap, and you can go directly with tubeless.
It's great. I'd like to bring it down now and just do a little bit of size guide. So I've got a sheet which we've developed, because Moustache does all of their sizing in centimeters. But basically, I'm 6'1", and I would be slap bang in the middle of a large. And you can see like the geometry with the full sus is just absolutely awesome. And one of the best things about the bike for me. But you can be, I think it's 5'3". So if you go down to Friday 27 FS. So yeah, actually 5 foot on a small up to 5'6", on a medium 5'5" to 5'11", large 5'10" to 6'4", and on an XL 6'3" to 6'8". Okay, so I think we've covered pretty much everything now on the Friday FS. Just one more thing, obviously the Friday FS7 does have the smartphone mount, which is super cool. We do have another video on our YouTube channel about that, but it just docks on here and allows you to have your phone charged and see all of the data and information and share functionality like Strava or whatever it is that you want to share. And that's the way that a lot of e-bikes are going, but Moustache have made it a standard feature on their top of the range Friday FS. And overall, yeah, it's as good as it gets really for an urban bike. There are other very popular urban bikes we sell that are kind of similar, like the Riesemuller Delight. But for me, the Moustache is the best to ride, and I just love the Moustache brand. So yeah, fantastic.